Chapter 1. The Arrival at Dusk. Under a slate-gray sky, when the last embers of daylight surrendered to an encroaching gloom, a forgotten military base loomed ahead like a monument to lost time. The crumbling perimeter walls and rusted barbed wire whispered silent warnings to those brave, or perhaps foolish, enough to trespass. As our small group of explorers approached on a narrow, overgrown path, an uneasy hush descended. The air was thick with the scent of damp earth and decay, and every step stirred echoes of battles fought and secrets buried long ago. The base, once a hub of disciplined chaos and strategic importance, now lay abandoned, its structures overtaken by nature. Ivy clung desperately to broken concrete, and shattered windows reflected the faint glimmer of a waning moon. With each cautious footstep, the explorers felt as if they were intruding on a realm where time had become a prisoner of sorrow and regret. Chapter 2. The Silent Barracks. Crossing through a rusted, creaking gate, the group entered the main compound, a maze of deserted barracks and command centers. The silence here was not the absence of sound, but a presence in itself, heavy and foreboding. Crumbling walls bore the scars of neglect and the remnants of hastily scrawled messages, half erased by time. It was as though the base had once been alive with orders, shouts, and the constant hum of machinery, only now it murmured ghostly fragments of a past too tragic to fully recall. In the heart of one of the barracks, amidst scattered debris and remnants of military paraphernalia, an old leather-bound journal lay open on a dusty table. Its pages were filled with frantic, almost desperate handwriting that chronicled events too disturbing to be forgotten. The entries spoke of strange occurrences, soldiers reporting eerie voices at night, fleeting glimpses of figures in uniforms that seemed to vanish as soon as they were seen, and unexplained phenomena that defied logical explanation. Each word, saturated with dread, hinted at secrets that were meant to stay buried. Chapter 3. Echoes of War. As midnight approached, the darkness deepened, and the base began to stir in unsettling ways. The sound of distant footsteps, as if a parade of unseen soldiers marched in unison, resonated faintly through the corridors. The explorers exchanged nervous glances. Every creak of the old floorboards and every rustle of wind through broken windows felt like an echo from a war that had never truly ended. In one shadowed corner, a large, dented metal door stood ajar. Behind it lay what appeared to be an old mess hall, its long tables draped in tattered, moth-eaten cloths. Yet, as the explorers entered, the chill in the air seemed to intensify, and the faint murmur of disembodied voices began to weave through the silence. It was as if the room was haunted by the unresolved anguish of those who had once gathered there, sharing meals and secrets amid the turmoil of conflict. Chapter 4. Whispers from the Walls. The corridors of the command center were lined with maps, faded photographs, and black and white images of stern-faced officers. Here, in the oppressive gloom, the walls themselves seemed to speak. Faint whispers, almost imperceptible over the sound of a restless wind, spoke of betrayal, loss, and a sorrow so deep that it defied the passage of years. One photograph in particular caught the eye. A group of soldiers standing proud, their eyes now appearing as empty voids that watched every intruder with silent accusation. In a secluded corner of the command center, the explorers discovered a series of cryptic inscriptions etched into the stone. These symbols, unlike any known military insignia, pulsed with an otherworldly energy. Some of the group speculated that they might be the remnants of a secret ritual, perhaps an attempt to bind the souls of the fallen to the very foundations of the base. Others believed these markings were warnings left behind by someone who had foreseen the calamities that would befall this place. Chapter 5. The Hidden Archives. Drawn by a mix of trepidation and morbid curiosity, the group ventured deeper into the labyrinthine passages of the base. They soon stumbled upon what appeared to be a sealed archival room, a place where classified documents and relics of the past were stored away from prying eyes. The heavy reinforced door bore faded insignia and a series of numbers that no longer held any meaning in the present day. With great effort, they forced the door open, revealing a chamber shrouded in darkness and lined with shelves upon shelves of dusty files and relics. Inside, the explorers found records detailing covert experiments, classified operations, and accounts of encounters that defied explanation. Among these documents were letters from soldiers, written in trembling script, describing visions of spectral figures and the oppressive weight of an unseen force that seemed to reach out from the very walls. One particularly disturbing file recounted an incident in which a unit sent on a reconnaissance mission had vanished without a trace, leaving behind only the echo of their final desperate pleas. Chapter 6. The Portal Beyond. In the farthest recesses of the archive, hidden beneath layers of old, crumbling files, the group discovered a peculiar object, an ornate, ancient key, its surface etched with symbols identical to those on the mysterious door in the command center. The key exuded an eerie glow, as if it were infused with the very essence of the base's tragic history. With trembling hands, one of the explorers retrieved it, feeling an immediate and inexplicable connection to the relic. The key appeared to be a portal of sorts, a link between the living and the dead, a tangible reminder of the base's cursed legacy. Its discovery raised unsettling questions. Had this key been used to lock away the darkest secrets of the military's past, or was it meant to safeguard something even more sinister? The silence that followed was deafening, and for a moment the group hesitated, caught between the desire to flee and the compulsion to uncover the truth. Chapter 7. The Unfinished Mission. As the night deepened, an oppressive feeling of inevitability gripped the explorers. The base, with its layers of forgotten history and spectral inhabitants, seemed to be a living entity, one that remembered every sacrifice, every loss, and every moment of despair. The journal entries, the faded photographs, the cryptic symbols, they all pointed to a single, chilling conclusion. There was a mission left unfinished, a debt unpaid to those who had perished in its service. In the center of the command hall, beneath a collapsed ceiling, a large mural depicted a battalion of soldiers advancing into an unknown abyss. Their faces were etched with determination and sorrow, as if they knew that their fate was sealed even before the battle began. The mural, despite its faded colors, radiated an aura of mourning and duty, a poignant reminder that some stories never truly end, and some spirits are doomed to wander in search of redemption. A sudden, bone-chilling gust of wind swept through the hall, extinguishing the few remaining lights and plunging the room into near-total darkness. In that moment, the explorers felt an overwhelming presence, a collective sigh of the souls trapped within these walls. It was as if the base itself was urging them to continue, to bear witness to its sorrowful tale, and to unearth the final hidden truths that lay just beyond the threshold of the known. Epilogue. A question in the darkness. Standing at the precipice of the unknown, the explorers felt the weight of centuries of grief and loss press upon their shoulders. Every artifact, every whispered echo, every cold touch of air carried the lament of lives cut short by war and forgotten by time. The mysterious key, still warm in their grasp, seemed to beckon them deeper into the abyss, a final, unspoken promise that the past was not yet ready to rest. And now, as the wind howled through the shattered remnants of history and the spectral voices grew ever more insistent, a single, resonant question hung in the darkness. Shall we continue?